manifestation, I would say. At least describe it in the best way that I can from the experiences that I myself have experienced manifestation in. Because some people say that, like, yes, you don't necessarily have to, like, you still have to physically do something in order for something to manifest. Well, at the same time, you already knowing and believing that you have it within yourself has already given you that thing that it is that you are desiring, that you're trying to manifest, that you're wanting to achieve. Yes, you still have to put in the work and you still have to show up and go to the places. The thing is by you just going to the said place that you go, you have already achieved and reached whatever it is that you're needing to achieve and reach. Because let's say hypothetically, I guess this isn't necessarily a hypothetical, but there was a time when I went on this hike out in the mountains near Steamboat because I wanted to go to the hot springs out here. So what I ended up doing was on my hike, I was like, you know what, I want to see a woman with big breasts, and then I also want to like get invited back or run into two women or whatever it is that have like that might invite me back to their place or whatever it is. And both of those said things happened when I ended up getting to the hot springs. There's one girl that I ended up talking to and she's like, oh, you're really powerful. And I was like, I never really necessarily thought about it that way or saw it necessarily in that light. I just kind of was like, I'm just doing what I do, you know? And then whatever ended up or ends up happening from there is just the thing that ends up happening. At least that was kind of like the perspective and the outlook. Sorry, mate, if I cut you off there. That I ended up taking from the experiences that I myself had. I totally could have. I was trying to get over all the way. There was a cop that just flew by, and I was like, if I could get in that same lane as that person, could have had like my own little like police escort. But yeah, no, I just saw it as I'm just showing up at the right place at the right time. So it's like, in order for us to have something, from what I've been able to see, is we first have to give it to ourselves. As soon as we give it to ourselves, we have already technically received that said gift. We have already achieved the thing that we needed to achieve in whatever manner that may or may not be. And this is where I say, like, whatever it is that you need will always come to you in the exact moment that you need it to come to you in. You don't have to do anything necessarily. All you have to do is just show up. You just have to be there. You just have to believe that it will come to you when it is right. Because the first time when I did like a big manifestation, quote unquote, because it wasn't really like, it was big for me at the time, I wanted a brand new TV, like a larger TV. And I just sat at the wall stared at it for a couple of hours or whatever it may have been. And then all of a sudden, like, boom, there it was. I didn't have to do anything. I just showed up. I got back from the gym one day. Somebody was getting like evicted from the apartment that I was living in, I guess. And then I got back and there's a 55-inch TV or whatever, maybe rolled up in a rug. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, I was just thinking about this and then it happened. So it's like, time is a construct. It is a construct that has been created by humans, by individuals such as you and me, to be able to experience and comprehend the world that we live in. Because beforehand, there wasn't any concept of time other than like the sun goes up and the sun goes down. And yes, we got older with evolution of the experiences that we were having at that said time. It's not clarification, but there just wasn't this, there wasn't this time frame set on things. There just wasn't. Because our minds are able to create this scenario of going backwards and going forwards. However, when you're watching this video, what moment is it right now? It's the present moment. And that's why, like, everything is always manifest in the present. There's never a time when it's not going to be manifest in the present. If I say, decide to go to lunch, or I don't decide to go to lunch, like, whatever that happened and whatever experience was needed to be had by the people around me at that said time is the experience that was being had with the people at that said time. I wasn't there to experience it, so it didn't exist in my reality. Yes, was it happening? Yes, of course it was. It's just it wasn't happening for me because I wasn't there to observe it. And this is, I believe, one of the biggest disconnects I seem to see right now is the only way for me to have a set experience is for me to physically do and or see it with my own two eyes. There is no other way for me to experience the experience. There just isn't. Like there's no other way. And this is why you are the creator of your reality. You are the one that is creating the experience that you yourself want to have. And sometimes I want to change the experience, sometimes I want to try something different, sometimes I want to test out some different theories or ideas or perspectives or whatever it may be in order to get me to the place that I want to get to. And things are going to happen in the time that they're meant to happen. You could say that that's determinism and we don't necessarily have free will, which maybe we don't. Maybe everything has already been decided, or maybe we get to decide whether or not this is the thing that we do or do not want. Like, I don't know about any of you, if you've ever had a time where you hear something or you think something or you feel something or you sense something, and then that thing comes into manifestation, it comes into fruition. It's just like, well, how did you know that that was going to happen? Because you technically saw it before it happened. Like that's the only thing that could have ever happened. Because were you the one that created it, or were you just tuning into the right channel, the right frequency? Because there's this other theory, concept, that I highly recommend you try to experiment with or test out or try. And you can kind of think about this in regards to like watching a television show or something along those lines, or even just watching YouTube videos. Like, you are watching me on one specific channel. This might not necessarily apply to like a younger generation, but like back in the day, like when we had like DirecTV and live TV, and maybe some of you still do have this. I don't necessarily anymore, but it's like I would just change the channel on the TV. I'd be like, okay, I don't want to watch Cartoon Network anymore. I want to watch the Discovery Channel or something like that. That was me jumping from one universe to another universe. Because like, you could be like, well, what do you mean that's it doesn't have to be universes. You could be like, that was just me focusing and changing my attention on one thing to the next. This is just why it's so crucial and important if you truly want your manifestations to come into manifest, is you have to be willing and you have to focus on it and maintain your attention on that said task for as long as you possibly can, and then it will happen, and then you can move on to the next and the next and the next. And as you start to do that more on repeat, there's going to start to be this different perspective that comes into your world. There's going to be this different point of view that you start to abide by, that you start to live by, that you start to experience, because you decided to change the channel, you decided to change the frequency. And if you're truly wanting to have something manifest in your life, you have to be willing to change how you view that set experience. You have to be willing to change your perspective. You can't be doing the same thing that you've been doing over and over again, expecting different results. Like, you have to be doing different things to change the results that you're experiencing. It's like, as soon as I leave the office, it's like I'm done. Like, it's just like, turn the shit off. Then we go to a different channel. We go to this channel, the stuff that I enjoy, that I'd love to be able to make more income off of, that I would love to just be able to talk about these concepts and ideas. Even though the other night, maybe it's not even though, and with the other night, I did this lift with this girl at the gym, and we got on these topics, and I think she's maybe just more familiar with certain things. But then I was like, I don't have to change anybody's mind. People have the right to believe anything that they want to believe. If they want to experience the things that they want to experience, if they want to complain about the things that they want to complain about, if they want to put more power in the hands of other people, then so be it. Like, they have every right to do that. I just have never been that type of person that wants to give other people the control. It's just not the thing that I want. Creative is the license plate that I see right now. I just want to create in the ways that I wanted to create. I want to be able to share in the ways that I wanted to share. There's a lot of fucking sadness in his eyes, bro. Fuck, dude. Because I don't know about any of you. Like, do you believe in mediums, psychics, voodoo, telepathy, manifestation? It's going to come down to you. You got to be the creator of your world. You got to be the creator of your experience. What experience do you want to have? What type of world do you want to be in? It's really up to you. You got to be the one that decides. So, decide what you want, move forward from there, and then just kind of let God, the universe itself, just let nature take its course, and however it's meant to be will be how it is. So, I hope this helps, or maybe inspired you some way, shape, or form. If it did, well, I'll chat with you in the next one. Thank you.